Hey everybody, it's Eric with Low VA Rates, always sporting red on Fridays. Why do we sport red? Remember everyone deployed, right? Remember everyone deployed. Red Friday. Get yourself a Red Friday shirt. I can send you one. You know that if you watch these videos. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about contingency clauses. It's almost kind of a tongue twister. So just to remind everybody, contingencies. You think I would know how to spell this? I do know how to spell it. Contingency. Is that right? I think that's right. Contingency clauses. Reminds me of my 10-year-old daughter who has spelling tests every Friday, and starting Monday we start practicing this stuff. So I thought I could spell contingency. I think I got it right. I'm just going to assume I did. So what's a contingency clause? Let's talk about it. Let's say you finally found your dream home, okay? You made an offer. The seller accepted your offer. Everything's looking great. Now it's time to put the home under contract. You got to put together what we refer to sometimes as the Rep C, okay? Real estate purchase contract. You got to put that contract together, and you may have a lot to say in what goes into this contract. That's why it helps to work with a real estate agent. You're going to want to make sure that you're protected in case anything goes wrong by including different contract contingencies, okay? So what I want to cover is what these contingencies could be, who writes them, how they protect you, and some of the contingencies you might want to include in your contract even if you have never even thought about it, okay? So what are they? What are these contingency clauses? Well, it's this. When you and the seller of the home agree to an offer to purchase and or sell the home, depending on if you're the buyer or the seller, then, like I said, you enter into this contract, the purchase contract. And the contract is legally binding. It commits the seller to sell you the home at an agreed upon price, and it commits you, the buyer, to pay that price for the home under certain agreed upon terms. Okay, that's what it really comes down to. When the contract's being prepared, you can request to include certain contingencies, which are basically portions of the contract that make it so that the contract is only valid and binding if and when these certain conditions are met. Okay, so essentially a contingency clause allows you to back out of the contract, or it allows the seller to back out of the contract if it's their contingency, if certain conditions are not met or certain conditions are broken, right? So when a contingency clause is written into a contract, it generally includes the following information. Number one, let me get my eraser here. Okay, these contingency clauses generally, number one, these contingency clauses usually specify a specific action. I use specify twice, but there's a specific action or condition that must be met. Okay, so I'm going to put action. That action might be fix your sprinklers, right? Or a condition. I guess an action or a condition, you could use either word, that has to be met. Number two, a time frame for completion, right? So if the seller agrees to repair the broken sprinklers, but they don't put a deadline in place, we got a problem. So there's also a time frame by which they're going to complete that action or that condition. Number three, any other relevant details that make the condition of the home clear to all parties. Getting all sorts of tongue twisters today. So, basically you can put whatever contingency in there you want. Now, who's going to write these contingencies? In many states, it's the real estate agent or the realtor that you've decided to work with that's going to help write these contingencies into the contract. It's one of the many reasons why here at Low VA Rates, we suggest you get a good, experienced realtor. And a lot of buyers say, I don't want a realtor, they cost money. They don't cost you a dime. The seller pays 100% of that real estate or that realtor's commissions. You pay nothing. So why not take an expert that has your best interest at hand, who the seller has to pay for? It's a great idea. Now, some states may require that a licensed attorney be the one to draw up the contract. There's just, we're in 48 states plus DC, so we always say some states might require this or that. We're not going to exhaust you with a full-blown list, but you can find that online. Now, even in a situation where a real estate agent is working with you, but you have to have an attorney, that real estate agent should still be familiar with the state laws and can help make sure they're all being followed. They would also likely know an attorney. If you're in one of those states that needs an attorney who's qualified and experienced in purchase contracts and contingencies. So, you're going to have a lot of smart people on your side if you choose to. Though lenders like low VA rates aren't really writing contingencies, we know what we're doing. And if you talk with your lender or your loan officer, they can also help you maybe determine if there's any contingencies you might want to put in the contract. Now, this is the most important thing, in my opinion, about these contingency clauses is they protect, okay? They protect you. And who doesn't want to protect those who have protected us and our freedoms? You veterans out there, you need to make sure you're protected. And that's what these contingencies do. When you agree to buy a home, there's a lot that you might not know about that home, especially because the appraisal hasn't been done yet, and then inspections usually don't happen until after you've agreed to buy the home. So by simply making sure that you put a contingency in your purchase contract that the home must pass an inspection, there's an idea of something that would protect you. The reason why your inspections and your appraisals are not done day one before you enter the contract is because who wants to spend hundreds of dollars before they're 100% committed to buying a home? Now, inspections and appraisals can sometimes uncover serious deal breaker issues for you, or even for the lender. For example, if the home you've agreed to buy doesn't pass the VA minimum property requirements, which we've got videos on, if this comes up during the appraisal, then we can't give you a VA loan unless those property standards are repaired. We said number one was action or condition. So we can get there, but that's why this stuff is important. Maybe it passes the appraisal just fine, but during the inspection portion of that, there's a serious foundation problem, or they've uncovered black mold or something. Well, depending on whether or not the seller's willing to repair that and fix it, might have some impact on whether or not you can actually end up buying that home. Now, in both these situations, without a contract contingency, you could be legally bound to continue and buy that house. And if you backed out, you could lose thousands of dollars of earnest money. That's why this stuff is included in your contingency clauses within the purchase contract. Imagine if you had the foresight to include a contingency in that last example that the home met minimum property requirements as indicated by the VA, or you could get out of the contract, then you would have been safe. Now, while these were just two examples of common contingency clauses for buying a home, a contingency clause can be written for nearly any type of situation that you would like to be protected from. If you can think it up, you're welcome to try to put it in your contract. You still have to get the other side to agree to sign it. But what contingencies should you consider including other than maybe those two? Well, I already covered two important ones. Other ones might be, financing contingencies. If you don't get a pre-approval on your home loan within the first 10 days of being under contract, then you can back out. That would be a financing contingency, and you could get your earnest money back. Title contingencies, that there better be clean title with no liens or encumbrances on the home, or you can get out of the contract. There could be home sale contingencies. A lot of people are in their first home. I love this one. You bought a starter home 5 or 6 years ago. Your income level's gone up. You've had a couple kids. You want to buy another home. Well, you can put a contingency in the contract that says you can't close on the new home unless you sell your current home. That would be a home sale contingency. So if you'd like to find out more about these specific contingencies or a whole plethora of other ones, then keep an eye out. I think I forgot to tell you, you can still go back and do it, but you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will have other additional videos coming out where we will break down other types of contingencies if you'd like to study up on this a little bit more. Now, for now, I think we've probably explained enough about contingencies. You might not have even known a thing about them before this video. Now you do. Simply put, they're clauses or little inserts that you're putting into your purchase contract to protect yourself for basically any reason that you want. If you have any other questions, I'm always here, happy to answer. You can just chime in with comments below our videos. You can email me, you can call me. I love talking to the veterans out there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you here next Friday.